Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Storytime with Rob. So today, as you know, is Festive Fabulous Friday, Self-Improvement Saturday. And I got some good stuff for you today, so I hope you follow along. And I'm just going to jump right in. So I want you to take the following mental exam, okay, with me. Take this with me. So stop whatever it is you're doing, or if you're driving, just picture this in your head. But I want you to take this with me. So years ago, I taught a seminary class, early morning seminary, and I had about 25 or so high school youth in my class. And so I asked them the following, and I'm going to ask you this as well. And I'm going to predict how you're going to end on this. So if I said to them, these youth, and I'm saying this to you as well, I'm going to give you unlimited funds. I'm going to give you as much money as you want. There is no limit. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I'm going to tell you that you have 1 year left to live. How are you going to spend that money? Well, you can imagine as I was talking to these youth, some of the things that came up. I'm going to buy boats. I'm going to buy an island. I'm going to go travel the world. I want you to think about it. So ask yourself that inside your brain. Come on, I'm waiting. Think about it. What would you do with that money? Now that you've got those amazing, incredible things inside your head, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to give you 1 month left to live. So now you have 1 month left to live, and you still have the same amount of money. What are you going to do now? Well, I found it interesting as these youth, they still kind of like, oh, I'm going to go get my monster truck and buy an airplane and still travel the world. So their priorities changed just a little bit, but not a whole lot. So what about you? Where are you at? Okay. Now I'm going to change the dynamic completely. All right? You have 1 day left to live. And you have all the funds you could ever imagine in your life. Well, the youth, I don't know what you're thinking about, but the youth said they would want to spend time with their family. Now, if you were to tell me that I would talk to youth and they would tell you that if they had all the money in the world and they would use it to spend time with their family, then you would call me crazy. But if you think about it, that's kind of how it is, isn't it? Our priorities change dramatically based on one principle: time. Time is really one of those things that all of us have the exact same amount of, and yet we have no control over it. And I will tell you, the older I get, it seems like it goes faster and faster. And yet it's the same amount of hours in the day. So let me ask you this. If your answers to those questions were similar to those youth, why wait? Why are you waiting? Do it now. Spend time with your family now. Find things to do now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. So I'm going to leave you with some good quotes, and hope you guys have a great week. And so here we go. The great dividing line between success and failure is expressed in 5 words. I didn't have the time. Franklin Field said that. A year from now, will you wish you had started today? Said Carrot and Lamb. It's kind of like that one, when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 10 years ago, right? So don't hesitate. Do it today. Pick up the phone. A mysterious thing, time, powerful, and when meddled with, very dangerous, said Albus Dumbledore. So we've all remembered that one from Harry Potter. Time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is to say I don't want to. I love that quote because it's so true. Lao Tzu said that. Always in motion is the future, said Yoda. Wasn't a very good impression. To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time, said Leonard Bernstein. Don't say you don't have enough time. You have exactly the same number of hours per day that were given to Helen Keller, Michelangelo, Mother Teresa, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Jefferson, and Albert Einstein. Think about that. Same amount of hours. All right. So I want you to think of this whole time thing as a stoplight. So if you're going through the stoplight, you have the three colors, right? You have red, yellow, and green. Red, stop, right? Means you need to stop. Sometimes you got to slow down. You got to get enough hours of sleep in the night. Otherwise, you're just going to be spent. Yellow means slow, right? Unless you live in Utah. I don't live in Utah, but if you live in Utah, yellow means punch the gas as hard as you can, and 15 cars will still go through the light. That's what it means in Utah. So sometimes we got to slow things down and have time, slow time. Of course, green is go time, go time. So there's times that we just have to say, all right, I'm going to buckle up my boots and I'm going to go. And I'm going to go as hard as I possibly can and get as much done as I possibly can. And so green is your productive time, but you also have the yellow and the red, which you got to have, because without those, you're in trouble. You got to have those too. So anyway, just a reminder. Oh, and speaking of time, I want you to ask yourself, or your spouse for that matter, how old would you say you are, in a matter of years, if you didn't know how old you were? Think about that for a minute. How old would you say you are if you had no idea how old you really were? That's a tough one for me. I feel like in my brain I'm way younger than I am. So I would put myself in the mid to upper 20s range. Of course, my body says no, but how old would you say? Maybe you shouldn't ask your spouse this question. Just keep that to yourself. Anyway, I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you apply some of these things into your life. Get out there, spend some quality time with your family, and do some wonderful things this weekend. And until tomorrow, be safe.